approximately 10:05. Just a quick few updates before we get started. If you have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please ensure your lines are muted unless you're actively asking a question. If there are several questions there in the queue, please limit your questions to one initial question. If we got additional time allotted in our coach's availability, we will work our way back around to get additional questions answered. With that being said, we thank all of you for joining us today. We'll be back momentarily. Thank you for your patience. Begin at approximately 10:05 with Alabama A&M head coach Sam Shade. Once again, for all of our media participants on the call with us today, if you do have questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. We are about a minute out. We'll start off with, again, Coach Sam Shade with Alabama A&M. He'll be followed by Coach Eddie Robinson with Alabama State. For all of our media participants on the call with us today. With that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. Happy to be joined by Coach Shade with Alabama A&M. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, Coach. And as always, we appreciate you taking this time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Texas Southern.
Yes, we played our final regular season game out in Houston against Texas Southern. Started the game off pretty good. Had a pretty good drive down the field. We actually had a really good run by one of our running backs, Isaiah Nokinku. And as he was fighting to get in the end zone, he actually fumbled the ball right as he's crossing the goal line. So, had an opportunity to get points early to get on the board first. Didn't. Then after that, they scored. We came back and scored, made it 7-7. But after that, we just weren't able to make a lot happen. They did a good job in the running game, pretty much offensively running for over 200 yards against us. And after that first drive, we just weren't able to keep the running game going. So they end up winning the game 24-7. My hat goes off to Coach Chris Dishman and Texas Southern. They did a good job in the ball game.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Good morning, Coach Shade. How are you?
Doing good, Wayne. How about you?
I'm doing well. So Coach, now that you completed this first season at Alabama A&M, how would you say this first season at A&M compares to the first season that you had at your last stop at Miles?
There's some similarities. Definitely some similarities in that season and this season. After that first season there, we knew that we had to improve our roster talent. Same thing here at A&M. We've got to, make some roster improvements and things like that, and also, we've got to continue to install our culture and the way we do things. It was the same thing at Miles. So yes, definitely some similarities.
So, Coach, with those similarities that you mentioned, um, getting ready to get into this this off-season calendar, which there is no real off-season, so to speak, anymore. But as you get into this part of the process, what are some of the immediate things and steps that you guys are going to take to start to begin to build this program in your image and likeness?
Well, actually, we've already started it. We've had some official visits during the season. Had guys on campus. The early signing period starts next Wednesday, so we knew there wasn't going to be a whole lot of room between the end of the season and that signing period. So we've already been working, as far as changing our roster up. That's one of the things that we looked at with each and every game is the top teams in this league. Our team overall don't look like those teams, and we've got to improve our recruiting to where we look the same as some of the top teams in this league physically.
Well, Coach, I'll yield to somebody else, and if there's time, I'll have one more question.
All right, Wayne.
This question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody on campus are well. Just talk a little bit about the opportunity for these young gentlemen to earn an education and how that's a beautiful thing for the game of life and also being a Bulldogs, a football student athlete.
Well, that's why all of these student athletes are here to earn an education, and I'm big on that. My two oldest children have both graduated. They graduated in 4 years from college. They're doing really well, and I've got coaches on this staff that have children that have already graduated. And so for us, I mean, we would be doing these kids a disservice if we weren't stressing the importance of education to these guys each and every day. And we've got a number of guys on this team that have already graduated, guys that are finishing up their master's degrees and things like that. So, that's super important to us, and that always will be.
Coach, in terms of recruiting update, high schoolers, junior college players, the transfer portal, and so on and so forth. Just talk about the opportunity to look at some people and bring some guys in and get some guys signed and offer them an opportunity to change their lives.
Yes, that's why I'm in this business. That's why a number of coaches are in this business. I know all of my SWAC fraternity coaching brothers are in this business for that reason, to change lives, and not just through the game of football, but through giving some of these young men an opportunity to get an education that they might not get. So it's very important what we're doing, and the game of football, it teaches a lot of life lessons, and that's one of the big reasons that I'm in it. And I talk to our guys that were seniors that played their last game on Saturday. I talked to those guys about they might not, leave this game with championship rings on their fingers, but just because of the perseverance and the dedication and all the things they put into not only football but getting a degree, these guys are going to be champions in life, and that's a big deal to me.
Thank you, Coach Shade.
All right, thank you.
Question goes to Wayne.
Coach, my final question for you today, just very simple. So just what would you say to all of the Alabama A&M fans, alums, and supporters about this offseason, this past season, and into the future?
Well, first off, it's a very important off season for us, and I want those fans and alums to know that this coaching staff is going to be working tirelessly to change this roster, to do all the things necessary as far as self scouting ourselves, and making any adjustments that we've got to make to make this Alabama A&M football team the best team that it can be for the 2016 season.
I appreciate you as always, Coach, and we'll definitely get a chance to talk during the off season. So good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This question goes to Ty Miller.
Hey, Coach Shane. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
When you look at roster management these days, and you listen to broadcasts for the most part, the analysts and announcers don't really talk about the homegrown talent as they used to. They always say, well, this transfer from this place or a transfer from that place. So when you look at your roster and going forward, how much emphasis is put on homegrown talent as opposed to bringing in transfers, and which one do you deem most important at this part?
Well, for us, we've kind of got a formula where obviously we start, right here in the state of Alabama because it's our backyard, and then we work outwardly. We're not far from Memphis. We're not far from Atlanta. Matter of fact, both of those places are actually closer than Mobile, Alabama, which is essentially in our backyard. So we try to stay within a 5-hour drive radius as far as our main recruiting. But I've got coaches from Louisiana on this staff. I got coaches from Florida, coaches from Memphis. So we use those resources also when there's a possibility of getting a player that we might not be able to get within a 5-hour drive of us. That's going to be a difference maker on our team.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Any final questions? Coach, we sincerely appreciate your time throughout the duration of this season, and we hope you have a great offseason. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And for everybody on the call, just want to say, have a happy Thanksgiving and a safe holiday season, and good luck to everybody next.
Appreciate it, Coach. All right, we're a minute or two ahead of schedule for Coach Robinson. We'll pause momentarily. Thank you for your patience. All right, once again, if you do have questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature here on Zoom to get your question in the queue. Next up, we'll be joined by Coach Robinson with Alabama State. Once again, please ensure that your lines are actively muted unless you're asking a question. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Robinson with Alabama State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's it going?
Doing great, Coach. And as always, we appreciate you taking this time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Mississippi Valley State.
Yep. So we played a home game against Arkansas Pine Bluff. So
Apologies,
no
Arkansas.
problem. No problem. So had a home game here in Montgomery. Coach Hampton team came ready to play. They ran the ball well against us. They got up on the 7-0. We had trouble scoring in the red zone, so they did a great job of holding us to field goals. So I was able to kick 2 field goals, and I think a pivotal point in the game, we were down 7-6 in the 4th and 1, and Marcus Harris was able to find a crease and got a 50-yard touchdown, just kind of sneaking through there. And so they did a good job of driving back down. We was able to block their field goal and then get a 2-minute drive and scored on a late field goal to make it 16-7 at the half. And then we were able to kind of start off fast in the 3rd and 4th quarter. But it was a good game. I think the score is a lot closer than what it looked at the end. But proud of the guys and the coaching staff just to come out and play hard. And this week we still have one more game. We play in the 101st Turkey Day Classic against Tuskegee on Thursday. So we're looking forward to ending the season on a high note.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Rob, good morning to you and congrats on the win. How are you today?
Doing well. How's it going?
Doing pretty good. So, Coach, I have to ask. There's a little bit of talk about the post game interaction that you and Coach Hampton had. Can you give a few additional comments on that?
Yes, I just think it was 2 guys that were competing hard. 2 guys that wanted to win the game, and so we just had a conversation. I think it was. I think what we do as coaches is public, right? So everything we do is on display, and everybody gets to see it. And as we chose this profession, so we understand that. But I think it was a private moment between 2 competitors. We talked about it, and he kind of explained to me how he felt about it. I explained to him how I felt about it, and I think that's pretty much it.
All right, Coach. If there's time, I'll ask additional questions.
All right.
Question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. If you guys are able to win on Thanksgiving against Tuskegee, it'll be the first 10-win season for the program since 2004. What would that signify in terms of like the program growth from your first year up until now to have a 10-win season on your belt?
Well, I would say this. After winning the game and we won and we played well, and it's probably the worst that I've ever felt after a win. And so, because we're trying to win a championship. And so if that happens with a 7-win season or 8-win season, or however that happens, that's what we ultimately want to do. So, but very proud of the guys. I mean, to win 10 games, you don't take winning for granted. I tell my kids and my coaches every game, half the teams in college football lost this weekend. So when you're fortunate enough to win, I mean, it's a blessing that you work hard and everything went the way you wanted it to go. And so we don't take it for granted. I mean, it's a great year to win 10 games. If you'd have told me beginning of the year, you're going to win 10, I would have been like, well, let's make sure it's the right ones so we can play in the championship game. But I'm very proud of the team to win 10 games. We're moving in the right direction. But ultimately, I mean, we want to win the championship. And so that's why we have to work a little harder. We didn't do enough to get to that goal.
You talk about that, Coach. How disappointing was it not to be able to win the SWAC East despite having the season you guys had?
Well, it's part of it. I mean, life is life. What should have happened. So I think you accept it and you think about, after this week on Thursday, probably for me, Friday, Saturday, I'm gonna go to a coffee shop, get my notes, kind of write down everything, journal, talk about to myself what I could have done better, how we can improve, and then you start working at trying to win the championship next year. And I think that's just how it goes. It's just the cycle of football.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody there are well. Turkey Day Classic 2025 installment. Tell us a little bit about, Tuskegee, what you see from them so far. And everybody knows, but why this is such a beautiful, big game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the 101st Turkey Day Classic. So for us, that's a huge deal. I mean, we look forward to it every year. Our fans do. It goes back to my freshman year, a long time ago, and it was my first introduction to the game, and so it's just part of tradition. I think with Tuskegee, they do a lot of different sets offensively. I mean, they got to take some shots. They have some good wide receivers, and then they're gonna play some smash mouth football. They'll line up with a fullback and just try to run downhill on you. So it'll be a good challenge for our guys. Hopefully we can get some young guys in there to see what college football is about, and get some of those guys ready for next year also. But the biggest part is for us, we want to win the football game. We don't want to disappoint our fans. We don't want to, put a bad mark on a good season.
Coach, for your senior class, how special is it to see a guy get a handshake in one hand and a degree in the other? How beautiful is that to see a gentleman go through that process?
Yeah, I mean, we have 6 young men graduating. Some are getting graduate degrees, and so I promised to the parents that I can't guarantee the NFL, but I can guarantee you're going to leave with an Alabama State degree. So I go to every graduation. So I think if we're going to ask those parents to come cheer and help us to win ball games and go to classic games and stuff like that, me as a coach, I need to be at every graduation. So I love going. I think other than probably homecoming and big football games, I think graduations on the HBCU campus is just a special time. You have a lot of guys who are first-time graduates in their families, and just some who parents have went here. So I'll be there. I look forward to it. I love it. I love the experience of it, and then I'm fulfilling the promise and the commitment that I made to that kid and to his family.
Thank you, Coach, for everything you're doing for Hornets Nation, and you have a blessed holiday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's it going today?
Super fantastic. Coach, those 6 seniors, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great today. I'm doing great.
Great, great, great. Congratulations on your victory, but I want to talk about those 6 seniors. We know that Jaleel Lenore is scheduled to play in the Legacy Bowl. Is there any other postseason appearance that he's scheduled for? And if you could talk about those other 5 seniors.
Yeah, so that's the only one he's scheduled for right now. Hopefully he'll get another invite. And that's a kid that actually came here in the summer and was able to get an MBA in the summer, spring, and fall, just taking a whole bunch of classes and super committed to it. So a lot of respect for that man, just on the football field and the way he's setting himself up to be successful in life. Some of those other guys, DeAndre Morris, he's another guy that really want to get him into the Legacy Bowl. I think he's one of the best safeties in the conference. He's 3 interceptions, been playing really well, only been here 1 year, but is playing at a high level. We have, I think, 20 seniors total, but 6 are graduating now. Some have already graduated and some are graduating in the spring. I think Cam Smith is another guy, a big offensive lineman playing in the Legacy Bowl as well. Jeremiah Frazier. So we got a really good group of young men that have been here to really help us turn the thing around. And Dylan Creech, that's the guy that was here, one of those COVID guys that was here in 21, actually the year before I was here. So him and Rudy Jean-Louis, guys that have been here for a long time, that have been able to lead with 4 straight winning seasons. And so it's been great to watch those guys get better and become freshmen who were not playing, and now they're leaders, and now they're going on with the rest of their life. So it's been a real full circle moment. I think it's the first class that I've had from a freshman all the way up. So it'll be great watching those guys graduate.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you. Appreciate all that you've done this season and what you continue to do for HBCU football.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Last question goes to Wayne.
Coach Rob, so my question for you now is, regardless of how this game on Thursday ends, the process that you guys have to retain guys on your roster and also going out and recruiting, what does that process immediately look like for you guys, or has it already begun?
Yeah, well, the process to retain guys started probably in week 1 when they started having really good games. So I think you're constantly recruiting your own roster. And, Coach Eddie Robinson always said you got to love them before you coach them. And so you got to love these kids up. You got to let them know that they're a part of the family. And then you hope that that's enough to talk them into staying and not getting to the portal and that type of thing. But at the same time, you're trying to figure out, hey, how can we get better? So we're looking at, every position, just talking with my defensive coordinator, like, hey, man, how can we improve? How can we get better at every position on the team? And every team is going through the same thing. So it's a roster management. Hey, how can my young guys get better? Who can we project to play a little better? Who can we count on and who can we not count on? So, but it's a fun part of it. I love the team building in January and February to help the team get better every year.
Well, Coach Rob, I appreciate talking to you every single week, and you've done a great job this season, and look forward to talking to you in the offseason and beyond.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Coach, we sincerely appreciate your time throughout the duration of this season on these calls, and we hope you have a great offseason.
Thank you. And I appreciate everybody that's covering the conference. I thank you for just showing up every week and having some really good questions. Some of them are tough, but we really appreciate you guys coming week after week and covering SWAC football.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, next we move over to Alcorn State and head coach Thomas. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Thomas with Alcorn State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, we appreciate you taking time to join us. If you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing at Jackson State.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to take the squad, up the road to a really good football team, to reign in national championship, and now we're two-time Eastern Conference champions. And so, started out a little slow. Them guys came out and established the tempo on us early. Crowd, man, was electric. And so once the guys kind of settled down, we kind of found our rhythm, got in the groove a little bit. Had a really big play to go against us with on the 2-yard line, ball snapped over the quarterback's head. They did a good job of punching it in. So at halftime, just wanted to kind of close that 14-point gap. And second half, scored on the first possession and was able to get some stops and just finished a little short. So kudos to TC, man, and that squad. Those guys show why, they're champions. And can't say enough about this old ball club. I hate us coming to an end with these guys, on this run and just the way they played and the resilience they had. And overall, just a really, really electric environment and just a great atmosphere for a really good SWAC football game.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Thomas, good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm blessed. How about yourself?
Doing well. So, Coach, on the play, the pop pass into the handoff to Tyron Warren on that touchdown, was Tyron Warren, was it designed for him to actually go behind, or was that how the play was designed?
Yeah, that play was supposed to go behind. We're not working on illegal plays.
Right.
The defensive end got up the field did a really good job of containing the running back, and so the only path that Tyron had was underneath. And so we worked that play, every week, and we know that you can't go inside twice. And so when it happens, it was just one of those bang bang plays. And so they got the call right. For it being a legal play, the deal for me was what triggered the review with no flag on the play. And, that the refs did an amazing job explaining that to me. And so it was just one of those deals. There's some glitches in, that same particular play, Wayne, because if we score it and you supposed to, you can review it, after scoring, but the crazy even though you don't score. And so if I would have been on the other end and he went out and, that play would have stand and I still would have been, acting a fool. But the fact that it was a scoring play initiated the review, and that crew did an amazing job of, doing the right thing.
Well, I appreciate you explaining it this way, Coach. And before I let you go, I just have to say I think you did a tremendous job in getting these guys, keeping them engaged and keeping them focused and playing hard with the start that you had. And even though the outcome wasn't what you wanted on Saturday, you guys did a really, really good job to finish strong. So pleasure to talk to you all season and talk to you in the off season and beyond.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Continue your platform and growing, man. It's helping a lot of young brown faces, man. Just watching your commentary. Please keep it up.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody on the reservation are well this holiday season. Talk a little bit about the opportunity that Alcorn State University gives young gentlemen to play football change their lives, get an education, and move forward?
You know, it's an academic oasis, and it's an acquired taste. You know, everybody know the geographical location, but you can't ask for a better utopia. You know, you got the social experience, you got the spiritual experience, you got every experience that you can to have to give you a great format for living, and that's what Alcorn has done and continue to do. And so recruiting, we'll be on the trails getting guys that fit the culture, that understand where we are and what we do and what we entail, and so. You can't ask for a greater place, just to be, here and just the development piece. And so, kudos to everybody that's associated with this great institution. Start with, our president. He does an amazing job. It's always good when you can see your president in the end zone and understanding, bad plays, good plays, and can speak to not only football players but just the whole athletic department. So it says a lot when it comes from him. And so, it was just great to be associated with this great institution and continue to bring in young brothers and sisters in to shed a great light on such a great place.
Coach, SWAC football, the conference, you know what that looks like. You played. Just talk a little bit about what you think about the SWAC these days and HBCU football as we move into 2026 and we're in this holiday season. Talk a little bit about HBCU football and the SWAC.
It's top of the line. I had opportunity to be at Southern Miss and go in a lot of those stadiums. And I can honestly say, besides when, Jackson and Alcorn played Southern Miss, the North Texas and a lot of those institutions, that will be experienced on Saturday. It ain't nothing like it. There's no experience, like it. Just the pageantry, the festive atmosphere, and then just the level of play. It's a lot of good coaches that don't get the light that a lot of coaches other places does. And so when you see Wayne with his platform and G and those guys on their platform, uplifting coaches, and I think it's just great. This is a really good time to be a part of such a great league. And my whole mantra is SWAC is just not a conference, it's a way of life. And so I wear it proud, just like a lot of the coaches on this telecom. And so it's just a great time to be associated with it. I can see it going up with the sponsorships. You can see it with the TV. It seemed like we played on TV, man, every week. My mom's 70 years old and she don't really know how to work that remote, but she knows she can find Alcorn on that TV. So that's shout out to, the commissioner for allowing that. And man, it's just a great time to be associated with this league.
Thank you, Coach. Have a blessed off season and we look forward to covering you.
Same to you.
All right, we've got time for a few more questions. Please limit them to one question. Next question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, sir.
Coach, talk about this senior class, starting with Stamarian Edwards and Jacorian Sue.
And you talking about gonna miss them, those guys. But once they leave, they'll be successful in life. Both of them guys should have a shot. Corey just got to kind of get his knee cleaned up. Got banged up. And I know he'll be ready for his Legacy Bowl invite. Steve got to get some little maintenance on his body. But those two guys are the foundational piece of where we are. They could have easily jumped ship at 0-3, 0-4 and red shirted and find somewhere else to go. But those guys, man, stayed tied in and stayed convicted on helping us turn it around and such great leaders. And so just shout out to their family and their background and everybody who's helped them along the way. And so we're going to miss those guys. You can't replace guys like that. And so it's just good to have guys that's been around them that know what it looked like. They can pass the torch to.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you for this season and good luck to you on all your future endeavors.
Appreciate it, sir.
Take two more questions. Next one goes to Dwayne Nash.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Now, I know the season didn't go the way that you had planned it to go, but Reggie and Jacorian had phenomenal seasons this year. Can you please send a message to voters if they just happen to be on the call as to why both Jacori and Reggie should be deserving of not just conference accolades, but also national accolades as well?
Yeah, look at the tape. Look at the tape. Numbers. Numbers don't tell the whole story. You got two backs sharing time with two different skill sets, and you watch Reggie run against one of the best defenses in the league in Saturday and have over 100 yards. And I don't know many backs that has done that versus that. talented, defense that Coach Quinn has. And so, both of them, Sewell before the injury, he was on pace to, get 1,000 or close to it. And just had some injuries, a little banged up, nicks and knacks, however, but just two phenomenal kids, on and off the field. And so you can look at the tape, but you can just watch those guys and then just ask coaches. One thing about it, other coaches don't lie. And I'm quite sure that they, had to have some game plans or some things or know where those guys was on the field at all times.
All right. Thanks so much, Coach.
Yes,
Have
sir.
a great offseason.
Last question goes to Ty Miller.
Hey, Coach Thomas, good morning to you.
Good morning.
We seem to be in an era where a lot of these schools, particularly black college schools, are going for the name coaches with recognition and NFL ties. But what does this say about the guys who have toiled many years in the black college ranks who may not get their shot and they have to just keep waiting as opposed to the guys with the names who are now getting shots? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's disappointing from the sector of, your resume, speaks for itself. You got the experience, you paid your dues, and yet you get leapfrogged because of, who your background, what your background isn't. And so, my thing is to the admins who are taking chances on the Cedric Thomas, on a Fobbs, who had no coaching experience, and some of, Dawson Odoms and TC Taylors and Willie Simmons, you know what I'm saying? Like, it took really strong ADs to be able to choose these names and still have some success. And I'm still working on it. I'm trying to get to the pinnacle of what TC doing for his institution, And so shout out to him. But it is disappointing, when you work your tail off and you've been a student assistant, grad assistant, position coach, and all these things. And then sometimes, guys who might not have done that or paid their dues from that standpoint, get opportunities. And so that's a part of it. These guys, I know them personally. They're going to work. They workers. And, the thing that I always, talk to coaches about it, you give us those opportunities at Group of 5 institutions and Power 5 institutions. I wish they had a deal where it was called like trading places, from a coaching standpoint. Put some of us in those institutions and see, how well that will, pan out, and put them in some of these institutions and see how they'll pan out. I think that'll be a great scenario. And so, there's a lot of good coaches here that need opportunities coming up the ranks from coordinators and position coaches. You just don't want to see this league. I know for me, that's been dear to me, that gave me an opportunity, to move up the ranks and get to where I am now. When you look back 5 years from now, you're not familiar with any of these guys that's coming up through the ranks, and it's celebrity highs all the way across the board. And so, I get it, I understand it totally, but I'd be remiss to say, it does get disappointing, for you to pay your dues, and sometimes you just feel like you're overlooked.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much for that comment.
Yes, sir.
Coach Thomas, we sincerely appreciate your time throughout the duration of this season. We hope you have a great off season.
I appreciate it. Thanks to you guys. The platform is awesome. We love the commentary, and keep supporting, not only just these coaches, but these young brothers as they try to find a format for living.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
All right, next we're going to go over to Bethune-Cookman and Coach Raymond Woody. Once again, if you do have questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Also, please limit your questions to one initial question if we've got several questions there in the queue, so that we can try to give everybody an opportunity. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Woody with Bethune-Cookman. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, we appreciate you taking this time out of your schedule to join us. If you could, start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Florida A&M.
Well, had a great opportunity to go down to Orlando to play in the Florida Classic. We were the visiting team. Obviously FAMU was the home team. It flip-flop every year. We started with the ball on a 4-play drive, and then we ended it with Timmy McClain fumble. And then the game, obviously got interesting. FAM jumped up 3 points. They had a field goal. Then we ended up scoring to put it to 7-3. And then second quarter, we had a 30-yard field goal, which was 10-3. And then we scored again on a 50-yard run. So it was up 17-3. And then they scored, obviously 17-9. And then we had a touchdown pass from Timmy to Malik, was 24-9. Then we went into the third quarter, and they ended up coming out 24-16 scoring, and then they had a field goal, which was 24-19, and then we ended up being in a situation where we were behind 27-24, and then Javon Ross ended up having explosive from Timmy McLean. We ended up 31-27, and then they had a running back who busted out a 19-yard touchdown. They went back up 34-31, and then we ended up on 4th and 8 winning the game. Had a big time throw by a quarterback to Josh Evans, and we won 38-34. So, my hat goes off to Coach Cozy. I mean, obviously that was one of the best classics I've seen in a while, just from looking from afar, playing in it, and obviously now coaching in it.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach Woody, congratulations on winning that game, man. That was an awesome game, awesome fourth quarter at that.
Thank you.
So, Coach, my question for you is, as Tim McLean, and I just want you to talk about Tim McLean and just, his perseverance through the program to finish off there. But as that ball is in the air on that 4th and 8, how long did that ball seem like it was in the air for you before it came down for Evans to catch it and score that winning touchdown?
I tell you, it was, just looking at it, it seemed like it was eternity, And then next time I looked down, the ball was caught by, Josh, basically we call it change, where our two inside guys run to the sticks and our outside guys, run a stick and go. And we ended up having him wide open. And like I say, it was a great call. And that was other things that, we work on throughout situational practices.
Yeah. Coach, I'm just thankful that we had the opportunity to see that on display. You did a phenomenal job this year, 6-6. Congrats to you. Congrats to your program. And looking forward to talking to you during the offseason and beyond. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, your offense just performed phenomenally this year. You have 2 of the top 8 quarterbacks in the conference as far as passing goes, and you have 2 of the top 5 receivers in the conference. Can you talk about your offense system and give some kudos to your offensive coordinator?
Well, I tell you what, those guys do a great job on the offensive side of the ball. Our staff has been together. Obviously, my offensive coordinator left last year, went to Colgate. Coach Pimpleton and I, we've been to several stops from Oregon to Florida State to South Florida, and I know him. And we didn't change a whole lot. We just made it simple, and we wanted to make sure that we put our guys in the right positions. And then with our quarterbacks, just making that KISS method, so now, hey, you don't have to do everything, get it to the playmakers. And I think we did a good job of assessing and doing self-scout of what we could have done better the previous year, and then just adding a couple of wrinkles. But like I said, we didn't bring in a whole new system. We kept the same system, but we ended up incorporating, the guys that needed to be on the field to make plays, and us getting the ball to those guys to be able to make plays.
Well, phenomenal job, Coach, and congratulations on the Florida Classic victory.
Thank you.
Question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Daytona are well. Congratulations on that victory we had the opportunity to cover on Saturday. Can you just talk about the program moving forward? You've been able to take this program and move it in a right direction. And now with the energy from the Classic and the victory, just talk about the next step in the process.
Well, it gives us a little momentum, as far as going into recruiting season and then going into spring. Obviously we got to go out and find, guys to fill some of the holes, that we're going to have, obviously for graduation. You just never know. We're doing evaluations right now, and you never know who's going to stay and who's going to leave, but we can't worry about that. We're excited about what we're doing and how we're doing it, and it's good for the community. It's good for this the school, and then also the players to understand that, hey, if you stick with your guns and the standard is the standard, good things will happen. And it's not easy, coming into trying to change the culture, and we're still changing. We're not there yet, but we're treading in the right direction.
Thank you, Coach. Have a blessed off season and look forward to talking to you.
All right, you too.
This question goes to Dwayne Nash.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. You finished the season with the most wins since Bethune has entered the conference, most points scored since 2018 for the program. Can you talk, if you just happen to remember, at one point in time in the season, did you feel as though that the program was turning around to making a positive turn?
Well, when you playing, several teams that were really good, whether it's Group of Five, Power Four, MEAC. I mean, I just saw that, the amount of points when we ended up not winning against South Carolina State, what our offense could be, and then, we started progressing, from there. But like I said, we always had in our mind our vision and what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. Obviously, injuries and all that stuff takes in consideration. But I think it was that game, South Carolina State, second half.
I was actually thinking the same thing after that game. I thought that you may have had something here with this program, and you may have had some success within the conference. But thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations on such a great season.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Last question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Woody.
Good morning, Doc.
It's good to see you in person. That was my first Florida Classic in terms of being there in person, and really lived up to everything you see on television and what you heard. So great job by both institutions in terms of representing for that Classic.
Thank you, Doc. Good to see you as well.
My question is going to be a little personal, if you allow me to go there, in terms of during the game. As you are setting up, coming out of timeout, keeping everybody calm, being the leader that you are in terms of the head coach, going to huddle, fourth down, everything's on the line. And then you start to see the play out. And obviously it goes for a touchdown. Can you talk a little bit about your emotions that go through you, but at the same time preparing to say, hey, there's still some time on the clock, and you want to set up your team in regards to what they need to do to close things out? Can you share a little bit about what that is like for a head coach, particularly you at that time in the game?
Well, like I say, we don't blink. The guys didn't blink. Obviously as a leader, you have to, show that. You got to be cool, calm, and collective. I know people may have a different perspective on that, but, just letting everyone know that, hey, it's a lot of ball to be played, and we got to worry about this play because that's the most important play. And we call something called chains, chains takeoff, and those type of plays we practice throughout practice, and we just got in that moment, and those guys, they didn't blink, they ended up responding.
That's right.
The challenge, and it worked out for us. Certainly.
Again, congratulations on the win. Congratulations on taking the next step of where you want to take Bethune-Cookman. And it's a pleasure to be a part of that. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes, sir.
You take care. Have a great off season. Look forward to talking with you during that time as well.
Yes, sir. You too.
Coach Woody, we sincerely appreciate your time on these calls throughout the duration of this season, and we hope you have a great off season.
Appreciate you all, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, next we're going to go over to Florida A&M and Coach Colsey. Once again, if you do have questions, please Utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Already several questions there. Please limit them to one initial question. If we've got additional time, we'll work our way back to get additional questions answered. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Colsey with Florida A&M. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning. How's everybody doing?
Doing great, Coach. And as always, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us. If you could start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Bethune-Cookman.
Well, great football game. Obviously came down to, last final play. Normally throughout this year, especially during that situation, that's a situation we love to be in, something that we practice and talk about throughout the week. Busted coverage, a lot of guy to get open. And, unfortunately, they were able to hit that pass down the sideline. Overall experience, obviously a great football game. You had to have a winner and a loser. Unfortunately, we were the loser of that contest. But, hats off to Coach Woody and what he's done there. And hats off to them for finishing the Florida Classic. Other than that, that's all I got.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Colsey, good morning to you, sir.
Wayne, how you doing, boss?
Pretty good. So, Coach, with this one game that you have coming up here at Mississippi Valley State, with the prospect of finishing 6-6, has there been any talk about you possibly not being back next year, or have you heard that you will be definitely back next year?
I haven't heard any conversation about that. Obviously supporting the president and obviously our new AD, we've had our conversations about what's needed to be done moving forward. But I think the biggest thing is for us is this isn't a game we were expecting to play. This was supposed to be a game we were supposed to play in Atlanta, October 4th. I think the biggest thing for us is we've been through this before, having to do this last year, having to go through this last year by having to play Alabama A&M because of the hurricane, and now being able to go through this situation again. It's playing Mississippi Valley on the road. So, it's something that we're accustomed to. We've been a part of. Again, not necessarily something we expected to do, but since the change was made October 4th, we were already prepared for this week of having to travel to Mississippi Valley.
Well, Coach, regardless how the season ends, I've enjoyed talking to you all season, and best of luck to you here on Saturday and into the future.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody on the highest of 7 hills are well today. Going back to the fourth quarter of the Classic, 4 or 5 different lead changes and high-level football. Can you just talk a little bit about that, using that energy and going into Valley and playing at a high level and executing?
Well, we were down 24-9 at the half. We knew there was going to be for us to have an opportunity just to get back into the football game. Defense knew we had to make some stops, and we were able to do that on a few possessions. And then, but kind of throughout this year, the fourth quarter has always been where a bunch of points have been scored from both sides, whether it was us on offense or us defensively giving them up. So we knew that it was going to be, kind of a highly, scored game by both offenses. But, obviously for us to be able to take the lead twice and then give it up twice, those are things that we want, right? Or we wanted to do. So, I think now you move towards the Valley game again, mentioning that, we want to make sure we finish the season strong. Obviously, we don't necessarily have to get them up for this game, especially with the upset that we had last year going against a Valley team that, we have to head there. We do have to go on the road. We do have to prepare, and we do have to make the travel. So, again, something that we had to, again, go play another game after the Classic, similar to what we had to do last year. And, guys are ripping and ready to go. We'll meet with I'll meet with the senior leadership team at 12:15, have our Monday meeting and get prepped and get ready to go, because obviously with Thanksgiving and us having to travel, just want to make sure our guys are ready to go as we get ready for Saturday.
Thank you, Coach, for everything. And as the late, great Tupac Shakur said, quote, keep your head up, end quote.
Always.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Hey, Perry, what's up, boss?
It's going well, Coach. Great football game. Coach, you've talked about, everyone at the institution being on the same page to make this program successful again. And I want to drill down a little bit more on that. Let's talk specifics about what you need in today's environment to restore Florida A&M to the top of the conference.
I mean, I think it's, at the end of the day, especially with the landscape that we're in right now, I think, obviously dealing with the portal, dealing with NIL, right? Dealing with revenue sharing. These are all things that are conversations that need to be had. But, it's not just at the Power 4 or the Group of 5 level. You look at the programs that are having success right now. They're in this conference. They're fully invested in everything that's involving the athlete. And that's not NIL. That's nutrition. That's people on staff. There's a full infrastructure that needs to be a part of this institution. New facilities. There's all these things that need to go on, right? And so if you look at what's going on and the teams that are playing for the championship or that have been hired at the upper echelon of the league, they have those things. They have those things. They probably haven't gone through a couple of presidents. They probably haven't gone through a couple of athletic directors. So there's the things that just not just getting up and playing on a Saturday that needs to be fully invested. You look at some of the coaches that are now at the higher levels that are being let go. It's because they have full NIL. They have a full staff. They have a bunch of things that they have been given or have been afforded to. And you know what? They have not had success. They may not have had the success that the university have wanted and have now been, possibly let go or continue to be on the hot seat. So those are things that, when you're here, right, you want those things, you hope to have those things. And then if you do get those things and then you don't have success, then that's what it is. But if you don't, or you're struggling to have these type of things, right, then how do you go forward, right? So those are things, again, not just at Florida A&M, but that could be at a lot of places, right? You know what I mean? So just again, you want to make sure everybody's fully invested to what you're doing and what you're having, and sometimes wins or losses may dictate that, but has it been that way in the beginning? Those are the questions that people need to be asked.
Thank you for that insight, Coach. Very insightful. Good luck to you this week.
I appreciate it. We'll need it.
Question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Bill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach Cozy.
Yes, sir. How you doing, boss?
I'm doing well. As I said earlier, got a chance to get down there to see the Florida Classic in person. Was moving around. Obviously, you had important things, so I couldn't quite get in your view, but wish I could have said good luck today. But as you move forward, wanted to talk a little bit about R.J. Johnson III, Thad Franklin Jr. Both of them seem to be really moving into their own, getting better as the season progressed, which is always important regardless of where you stand in the conference. You always want to see players getting better and how that may help moving into next year. But as you talk about that in this last matchup, how is it important to have them continue to play well, including your defense, to continue to get better as well?
Well, I'll start with those, those first two, right? RJ is, you would have hoped, and the way RJ's playing right now, if we'd probably be in a different conversation with him if, maybe we would have been able to play that way earlier in the year. I think the biggest thing has been just having the ability to continue to evolve the offense, right? Continue to expand the offense, and whether it's the playbook or the players trusting him and, being able to be in those type of situations, right? So, and then the beginning of the year, because of RJ being a young quarterback and other teams knowing that, right? They kind of stacked the box on us a little bit and didn't allow Thad Franklin or Jamal Haley to be able to make some of the plays that you've seen over the last few weeks. So, it's kind of been going hand in hand. Those guys have offensively has gotten better because RJ's played better. He's hitting the people that we needed him to hit, as far as our receivers go. And now defenses have to determine whether they want to be able to stop the run or, allow our pass game to be effective. So, it's just been an ongoing improvement for RJ, which has allowed Thad and Jamal to have the success that they've had, against, the last few weeks. Now, defensively, we've taken a step back. That's what it is. I mean, we're not trusting each other the way I thought we would. These are these things, obviously being here in 22 and 23, and obviously last year and counting this year, we're not playing as well as we need to, especially at the right time, right? So, you go back, look at the film, and communication errors, formation adjustment. again, things that we need to continue to improve on. And again, this is an offensive conference. This year, this is what it's been. The offenses have had the advantage, and quarterbacks are going up and down the field with success, and that's where hand in hand, complementary football, where it all said and done, right? At times we played well complementary football, and at times we have not, and that might be indicative to what our record is right now.
Great point. Thank you, Coach. Look forward to the matchup, seeing you in the off season as well.
And appreciate you. Appreciate you now.
No problem. Thank you.
Question goes to Dwayne Nash.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Dwayne, what's going on, boss?
I'm doing all right. Now, Coach, I think you may have already spoke upon this a little bit earlier, but I just want to ask to make sure that that's what you said. What is the message that you relay to your team to keep them motivated to play in a game that you weren't expecting to play in, especially after dropping a close one to your biggest rival?
Well, I mean, we, after October 4th, right, we knew we were going to play in this game. So, if I misspoke on that, but I mean, it was just after knowing what we were going to do and have to do, we planned accordingly, right? And then obviously having the success that we had last year, because we had to do this already. We had to do this last year after playing Bethune. We had to play Alabama A&M because of the hurricane. So, our schedule didn't necessarily change much. We were used to it. We've been accustomed to it. Not saying we want to do it again next year, but it was just something that we had already prepped for and planned for. So, and I don't think it's going to be hard to get our guys going, especially, obviously having to play Mississippi Valley, especially with what happened, last year and things like that. So, but just again, getting our guys back, making sure we're getting ourselves ready to go. And then obviously we'll get going. Today is our off day. We'll have our practice tomorrow, go Tuesday, Wednesday, take Thursday off, get back on Friday, and hop on our plane and get ready to go play Mississippi Valley. So, again, we're accustomed. Not saying we want to have to continue to have to do this every year, but having the ability to do it last year and having some of the guys that were on the team last year, it hasn't been a bad adjustment.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Good luck
Appreciate
this week
you.
against Mississippi
Thank
Valley
you.
State. Right.
Thank you.
Next question goes to James Verrett.
Coach, you said briefly that you're going to get on a plane and get over there to the state of Mississippi. How important is it traveling to Enabina? Is that half the battle when you have to play the Delta Devils there?
Well, you got to do that anywhere, right? We'd have to do, we have to do the same thing to go to Pine Bluff. We have to do, the same thing if you were going to go to Prairie View. You're always going to have to go and stay, and so it's not half the battle. It's what it is. It's traveling in the SWAC, and I remember talking to DC. When they came and played us, they had to go to Panama City, and so it's just traveling in the SWAC, and if you make it a big deal, then it becomes a big deal. So we'll do everything that we need to do to get ourselves ready, and there won't be any excuses once we get there. And once we get there, we got to play. I don't think Valley's going to welcome us with open arms. But I think the biggest thing is once we get there, we got to make sure we're ready to go. And if we're ready to go, we should play well. And if we do that, then we got a great chance.
Coach, is there anything different that you have to do when you have a week of practice, when there's no classes and things of that nature? You said last year that you learned a lot from what you had to do last year. What are some of those things that you have to change in order to make your players play up to that level on Saturdays?
Well, they better be in class today. So we got class today and tomorrow, and we'll shift our schedule. We're a morning team as far as practice goes. We'll shift our schedule, to maybe allow them to sleep a little bit, a little bit later on Wednesday. But we won't change much. We will just we'll do what we need to do tomorrow. We'll do what we need to do Wednesday. We will allow our guys to go home for Thanksgiving, and some of the guys will obviously stay with the coaches and eat with the coaches. But then we're back Friday morning. We'll have a walkthrough, and then we'll be ready to go on our plane at 2:00. So there's not much change except that we may have a little bit more time to meet. But our schedule's our schedule. We're not going to try to do anything differently. But the only thing we will allow them to do is on Thursday, spend some time with either the coaches or their families to eat, and then make sure we get them back either Thursday, late Thursday night or Friday morning, because we do got to play in the catch.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Colsey, we sincerely appreciate your time on these calls throughout the duration of this season, and we hope you have a great off season.
Hey, appreciate it, everybody. Thanks again.
Appreciate
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you. All right, next up, we will go over to Arkansas Pine Bluff, because Grambling State Head coach Mickey Joseph is currently at the Bayou Classic press conference, so his availability will be moved towards the end of the call. With that being said, we're happy to be joined by Coach Hampton with Arkansas Pine Bluff. Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Coach, as always, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us. If you could, start us out with an opening statement, recapping your team's most recent outing versus Alabama State.
Yeah, we went down to Montgomery, Alabama, played Alabama State. Got in, got off to a good start with a freshman quarterback. Took us down to score early. Then they came back, made them kick a field goal. Then we get to the second quarter. They drove again, we made them kick another field goal. We were driving. We had first and goal on the 2-yard line. I think the score is at that time 13-7. They hit a run on 4th and 1. We had a guy got out of his gap, put them up 13-7. But we got first and goal after the 2-minute warning on the 2-yard line. We scored a touchdown, and they called holding on the receiver and back us up. And they did a good job, and we kicked a field goal, and the guy he missed it. They didn't even block it. He missed it. And then they were able to take it down right before half, and we thought we had got to stop, kind of script the ball, but it wasn't. I mean, he didn't have possession of it. We run it back, and then they end up kicking the field goal, 16-7. So obviously you thought you was going to be up 14-13 at half with a bunch of babies on the field, and but it was 16-7 at half, and then they came out third quarter, and they took the drive down and scored, made it 23-7. And then the next drive, we got a 4th and 1. And I'm just trying to, I go for it. We don't get it. Then they hit a wheel route. Our guys with him, just a good throw and catch, 37. And the final score is we scored, tried an onside kick, got it. But one of our guys blocked before we got it. And so that was it. Good game. So now we're ready for the off season.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Bill, inside the HBC Sports Lab, it seems like over the last 2 years that the conference as a whole has had to deal with injuries at the quarterback position, which obviously is integral at any level. Can you talk about going into the offseason of how that may play into some things that you'll look at recruiting-wise, or do you think it'll be more of the standard process of how you go about recruiting for that position, I guess I was?
I mean, yeah, obviously, as any position, you recruit multiple guys. I mean, we had 5 guys on scholarship. Our quarterback, he was a little slight, but at the end of the day, it was just a freak accident. He got tackled, shoulder got jammed, and that was it. He was done against Prairie View. And then DJ came in. Man, he got hit, but it wasn't like a big hit. And then, his shoulder kind of got sprained. So it's just part of the game. Obviously, strength and conditioning. Those guys when in the weight room, you got to really work at it, and you just got to take care of your body. But, we have a list of all the players in our conference from position wise, what the average size and height are for every position. And, obviously we're below that on a lot of those. And obviously we just got to do a better job of, finding guys that kind of fit, probably a little bigger, but at the end of the day, he's looking for good football players.
Thank you, Coach, for that insight and such details. Wish you best in the offseason. Hope we get a chance to talk to see how things are going and see you continue to build the program, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody in Pine Bluff are well. Talk a little bit about the opportunity young men get. They will graduate, some of your seniors, and then you look at the recruiting piece, the high schoolers, JUCO, the pool of young gentlemen who played college football, the transfer portal. Just take us into what that can look like.
Yeah, for us, man, I think we're probably going to have about 12 to 13 guys graduate here in December. And then, some of those guys will elect to come back and work on their master's degree. But man, we've done a good job since I've been here. Obviously, been a high school educator, still got your teacher license. So I'm gonna always put education. Our new president, he's big on that. Our AD, we're all big on education, giving these young men the opportunity to be able to grow, and then be able to eventually go out and create families, and then be able to get in your community, man, and build outstanding citizens. And so that's very important to us. And, we recruit high school kids. We tell them, man, as long as you're doing the right things on and off the field, you're going to have an opportunity to graduate here. And so we're just teaching them life lessons. And, you're taking guys out of the portal. You got to make sure you get the right guys. Some of these guys, man, they're, they have a warped sense of reality. I can get in the portal and then everybody's going to want me. And I'm not necessarily talking about our guys. I'm just talking about guys in general, at our level and D2, D3. And just think about it. The guys at the Power 4 level, they haven't even been able to get in the portal yet because they're still playing. And so it's very unfortunate because a lot of these kids are getting bad advice from people trying to make money off of them. And so, what we do here, I'm always going to be honest with them. If a kid has a better opportunity that's going to be better for him, if people are offering you a lot of money, I wouldn't let the kid come back. And that's just the truth of it, because most of these kids that we're coaching are not going to the NFL anyway. And so if somebody wants to pay them $70,000, $80,000, if it's legitimate, I would say take it. But again, I would tell them this: if you're close to graduating, don't go somewhere where you're going to lose 30 hours of credits just to be a backup somewhere else. So those are conversations that we have, and I'm always going to be open. I've been fortunate, man. 2 of my kids played college football. 3 of them did, actually. And, so we believe in education. That's the most important thing. But I'm going to be real with them. I'm going to treat them like they're my own kids.
Thank you, Coach Hampton. Have a blessed holiday season, and we look forward to covering you, as we move forward.
Thank you, sir.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, I want to talk about your junior linebacker, Denarius Hilliard, who led the conference in averaging over 8 tackles a game. Can you talk about him?
Yeah, I will talk about him. I'll talk about his mom, because his mom is the one that brought him down here. This young man had no offers. I got a call from a guy that said, Coach, man, this kid here is looking for an opportunity to play college football. He was coming from a junior college. And then him and his mom came in my office. And I can see it like it was yesterday. She sit down. She said, Coach, give my baby an opportunity. She said, Coach, if you get my baby an opportunity, he's going to make you proud. And this is the best mother I ever had to deal with when it comes to kids. She texts me almost every couple of weeks. Even when when he messes up in the game, she'll text me and say, Coach, he ain't playing like my dirty should play. And so he's an undersized guy, but he has a heart of gold. And his mom, she's real, and she appreciates the opportunity that we've given him here. And obviously, he's done a good job of tackling at times, and he has a lot of room to grow. He has 1 more year left. And, I'm sure a lot of people, at those other places, they'll go look in the portal and start looking at guys at our level that's leading in different categories, and they'll try to get him. And again, I'll have a conversation with him and every other kid. Man, do what's best for you, but better understand this: know who believed in you and nobody else did. And so, he's a really good football player, but he comes from a really great family. And so I'm happy that he's doing that. But as I told him, the reason you're doing that because we're on the field too long. Some of those stops, we should have been off the field earlier if you had made a tackle sooner. You wouldn't have as many tackles.
That's awesome, Coach. Nothing like having those assistants in the home, right?
Absolutely.
Good luck, Coach. It's been a pleasure all season. Take care.
Man, I appreciate it, brother.
We'll take 2 more questions. First one goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Hampton, so I have to ask. I talked to Coach Rob about this earlier. I just want to get your perspective, your commentary on you and his post-game meeting at midfield.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it was the end of the game. Obviously, as a competitor, you want to win the game. And I have a lot of respect for Coach Rob, man. I think he's oldest coach in the league right now. He's still standing, man. Everybody else kind of been pushed through the wayside. And we just talked about some things, man. And I said what I said to him, and it was out of respect. As I told him, man, I have a tremendous amount of respect for him and his program and what he's doing. And obviously, we're trying to get our program to that level. And so that's really all it was. Nothing more, nothing less.
Well, Coach Hampton, I've been a big supporter of you, your work ethic, everything you stand for, man. Great year to talk to you once again, and hope I get to talk to you more in the future, sir.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, brother.
Last question goes to Tanner Spearman.
Good morning, Coach. Wrapping up your third season here, and if I'm not mistaken, your initial contract when they hired you was for 3 years. So, is that something that you and the administration have been talking about what the future is going to look like? Any sort of extensions, or have you guys been having those conversations?
Yeah, I mean, Tanner, man, we just go to work every day, man. AD's office right next to mine, man. We talk, man. We're building a program. We're in a good position. When the time comes, we talked about some things this week. We've been talking about stuff all throughout the season. And so I don't worry about any of that, Tanner. And I'm being honest with you, man. I know who's the head of my life, and I don't worry about anything that I can't control. But obviously, we made a lot of improvements. But if you ask me if I'm going to be back, I mean, I would assume I'm going to be back. But again, man, it's been a great 3 years to be able to take the program that was down and out, and man, the way we've been able to build it up, and then just even this year, as I've been doing self-evaluation pretty much all year, just to see obviously the Grambling game, the FAMU game, UCA game 2010 at half. Man, we've made a lot of improvements, but hopefully they want me back. If they don't, hey man, Tanner, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say my prayers. I'm gonna go home and kick my feet up on the couch, and I'm gonna go find me a job. But I don't. That's not my plan to be able to do that. My plan is to be back here, being the head coach of the Golden Lions. I love this place. I love what we're building. But obviously, you're right. It was a 3-year contract, and at the appropriate time, we'll go from there. But hey, I'm blessed, man, and highly favored.
All right, thank you, Coach, and hopefully we'll catch up in the spring.
Yes, sir.
Coach Hampton, as I've been telling all the coaches, we sincerely appreciate your time throughout the duration of this season on these calls, and we hope you have a great offseason.
Hey, man, appreciate all the good work that you guys do. Happy Thanksgiving to each person on this call. Moving forward.
Appreciate it, Coach.
All right. Be blessed.
All right, next we're going to go over to Mississippi Valley State and Coach Buckley. I believe we're still trying to get connected with him, so we'll pause momentarily. Thank you for your patience. All right, we're having some technical difficulties trying to reach Coach Buckley. We'll continue to try to reach him. If his time slot expires prior to us connecting with him, we'll move his slot towards the end of the call with Coach Joseph. Apologies for any inconvenience. We appreciate your patience. We'll be back momentarily. All right, so next up, we will be joined by Coach Jackson with Prairie View A&M University. Once again, if you do have questions, we ask you please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Jackson with PVAMU. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, as always, we appreciate you taking this time out of your schedule to join us. If you could start us out with an opening comment recapping this past week's competition.
Yeah, we had our last home game against Mississippi Valley, senior day for us. Got a chance to watch 30-plus seniors play their last home game in Panther Stadium. Started off extremely fast with a good lead at halftime and probably had one of the most disappointing third quarters that we've had. Ended up getting a punt blocked, and they ended up scoring a touchdown off of that. And so we had some mechanical issues there that we got to get fixed. And all in all, ended up winning the game. But really hated to see the punt block. We hadn't had any of those issues all season on that unit, and so we played some different guys in that at that time, and just a disappointing deal for our program. So we got to get better, continue to get better during this bye week, get healthy, and get ready to play in the championship game.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
Let's talk about what you see on film from the defending HBCU national champions as you prepare for this championship football game in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they got a really good operation in all three phases. They won some tight games and some close games, which championship programs do. They look well coached. They've got a lot of talent everywhere, and so it should be a really good football contest for us, and we should really be challenged in this deal because they're a really good football team. They do a really good job. That's why you were able to say the defending national champions, right? And so we certainly believe that they're a good team and that we're glad that we have the extra week to get ready for a talented team such as them. But we believe we're talented too. And so we believe we got an opportunity to go out and compete at a really high level and see where the chips fall.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
This question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach Jackson, how's it going today, sir?
Going good. Good morning.
Hey, Coach, can you just fill us in? Just give us a little bit of a little bit of transparency. What does this bye week practice schedule look like for you guys in terms of timing and all that good stuff?
Yeah, man, it's pretty normal operation around here for us. Championship programs, in my opinion, practice on Thanksgiving. That's what we do. Championship programs practice on Thanksgiving around here, and we're certainly not going to, as we're getting this national emergency weather alert, we're certainly not going to change the way that we do things and the way that we go about preparing. It's worked for us thus far. We'll continue to do that. After we practice on Thanksgiving, then our guys can go and hopefully they go to their coaches' homes and things of that nature that we've opened up to them and have a great meal. The local guys they're going to take some guys home with them and come by the coach's house. But it's a great time for us to spend together. I'm not from the school of let everybody go home and then we come back next week ready to go. If you break people's routine, then you're opening yourself up for a lot of foolery. And we're just not going to do that within our program. We've done things a certain way thus far. We're going to stay true to it. So I appreciate the question, but it's not much different than a normal week for us.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, Coach. And I appreciate you for answering that with the transparency that you always do. So best of luck, and we'll definitely be talking here coming up here as you get ready for this championship game.
Thank you.
This question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone on campus are well. When you think about the process of building a program, putting the culture in, putting the hard work in, you guys all collectively as one, just talk about as you gear up for the next game, how important this is, and just staying the course and doing what you have to do to be successful.
Yeah, when we got here, we made very clear what we came here to do. A lot of people kind of took that and ran with it whatever way they ran with it. the guys in this building, the people in this building, we sat forward to do a lot of things that and wanted to accomplish things that we said we were going to accomplish. This is no surprise to us. Prairie View A&M, for all of you journalists out there, Prairie View A&M will always be in this conversation as long as we're here. I don't know what's going to happen if I'm not here, right? If this program isn't here. But as long as we're here, we're going to always be in this conversation. And we said that very clearly day one. And so for us, it's just a piece by piece process. We had a lot of things to get right internally before we could put an external team out on the field. And we're nowhere near where we want to be. But we're so far away from where we used to be until it's of the utmost importance that people in our building understand. We talk all the time about how the media didn't think we would be here. The media said we'd be spraying the pads down, getting ready for spring ball right now. And that's just not the case. Prairie View A&M, I came here because I thought this was a place we could win the national championship. I still believe that today. And we're right on the doorstep. We got to play a really good football team. It's been said that the conference goes through Jackson, Mississippi. They're exactly right. And we look forward to getting on the bus and going out there and competing at a high level.
All right, Coach. Have a blessed holiday, and we'll see you in Jackson.
Thank you.
This question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill is inside the HBCU Sports Lab. You've stated from the beginning, and you stated even through this interview in regards to the preparations of planning to be here at this time of the year, meaning that you wanted to be practicing for some postseason competition, whether that was the playoffs or in this case, championship game. Can you talk about what that means in terms of constructing a schedule for the next 2 weeks, whether you are playing for the playoffs after this weekend or getting weather for a championship game? What does that look like from a program that wants to be consistent about practicing on Thanksgiving such a way that you have a team that is best prepared to go out there and do the things that this program now is looking at doing, competing in postseason competition?
Yeah, Doc, I appreciate that question. First of all, let me say, after sitting on those committees in the NCAA and watching how the FCS puts together the playoff deals, it's going to be very hard for a team in the SWAC to make the playoffs and everything lining up just right. It's very hard for teams in the SWAC to get in the FCS top 25. And in my opinion, it's kind of by design, but I'll save my opinion on that for another time. For us, it was very clear that we wanted to be competing for the SWAC championship, and that when you looked at our schedule, there was a week in between if we got to this point. And so now that we're at this point, it's been planned for, because for us as a staff, it's no different than having the first round bye in Division II. It's as you get ready to go. And so we've been here before. Last year was a week earlier for us. And I think people forget that we came from a championship program. And so for us, when we start doing championship things here, it's not the first time that our staff has done it. It might be the first time that the secretary might have booked the rooms the way we book them, but this is not our first time operating in this manner. And so those schedules were planned out in the summer. If for some reason we didn't make it, here's what we'd be doing on this week. We spent a lot of time on that, but this schedule is very similar to ones we've been around before at past places. And so we knew how to adjust to it. We knew what we wanted to do. In Division II, if you're not practicing on Thanksgiving, you're terrible. It just is what it is. Like you didn't have the season you wanted. And so
Right.
we've always had this plan on being off on Thanksgiving and playing the next week. And so thank the good Lord, it worked out for us to where we were able to use a lot of things and change some things that we might not have liked before, because we're at a different place where our stadium is on campus and we just got a lot more access and resources. So it's been a really good deal, and it's been planned out. So we're not in a panic like most people would be on what the next steps are. We kind of knew when we left the field on Saturday what we would do moving forward.
Appreciate the insight, Coach, and good luck moving forward. Hope to continue to talk with you as you build the program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Question goes to James Barrett.
Coach, you have said repeatedly that this is nothing new for your staff as far as building for a championship, and your time in the Gulf South Conference, you were a champion there. If you could let us know, what was the thing that your staff looked at as pedestrian that was revolutionary to the people that you introduced it to at Prairie View?
Planning Thanksgiving, planning to have Thanksgiving practice. That was not a custom around here. We wanted to make sure that very clearly nobody buy no flights for Thanksgiving, because we kind of plan on being here and having practice Thursday morning. And so that was a new thing around here. People had just been used to booking flights, even if they competed for the championship. Before, people were going home on Thanksgiving Day. We don't go home on Thanksgiving in Prairie View A&M football anymore. We stay together. If Thanksgiving is about giving thanks for the things that we've been given and our family, then we stay here with our football family. You'll see Mama and them at Christmas, or tell Mama and them to come on down, and they can get with us. There's plenty of dressing and turkey to go around. And so we wanted to make sure that people knew how we ball right now. And so it was new. It was creating, and again, it's everything's new, James, because we're creating our program. And there's a lot of programs that's been here, but we just look at things a different way. And so that was something that we had to introduce to them. But I was really proud at the way we received it. And now there's an expectation to not go home on Thanksgiving. If you at home with your mom and them on Thanksgiving, we failed in Prairie View A&M football.
Coach, one final question. On your social media, they had you singing during practice. Is that something new? And do the players enjoy it, or do they try to shut you up?
No, they don't. They can't shut me up. I'll take their money. And so you can't. When you're the head coach, man, you can do whatever you want. But we try to have fun with our players. And somebody caught me on camera doing that, but we try to have a lot of fun while casting the vision of where we want to go. That's us every day. That's us everywhere we've been. And so we certainly, these guys teach me so much about what's going on in society in their world today. And so we try to have fun, and there's a lot of banter that goes back and forth. And it's a competitive atmosphere. And so we've had some singing contests. We've had some other things go on that are of competitive nature. But can't nobody shut me up, James. The rest of the league should know that by now. It's hard to shut Tremaine up. All he do is talk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coach Jackson, we sincerely appreciate your time, and we look forward to talking with you again next week during the SWAC Football Champion Head Football Coaches Media Session.
Thank you. Go Panthers.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, next we go over to Southern University and Coach McNair. Once again, questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, we are happy to be joined by Coach McNair with Southern University. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Coach, as always, appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us. We know you are busy there with the Bayou Classic press conference and the festivities there, so we do appreciate your time. Coach, if you could just start us off, obviously, bye week for your program this past week, just by recapping the bye and previewing this upcoming game.
Well, I think the biggest thing is us just kind of taking care of ourselves and getting the guys that are beat up back to normal playing surface, and just taking care of our own stuff. You know, we got to correct the things that we got to correct as a football team in terms of getting healthy and making sure that we understand what Grambling going to do to us and all that kind of stuff. So we're excited about it, and we're just happy to be part of this 52nd annual Bayou Classic.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach McNair. Good to see you again, sir. And that dome looks really good in the background. So, Coach, without knowing, obviously, you know, what the future is going to hold, your immediate future, that is, after this game, just talk about what this means to you to be roaming the sidelines in this game as the coach of Southern one more time here.
It means a lot to me because I think that I thank Coach Banks for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this this Bayou Classic out of interim head coach for one. I'm excited about it and just ready to play and get these guys ready to play. And it's all about these kids right now. So I get these guys ready to win a football game is the most important thing to me right now. Getting engaged with these guys for this last week of preparation. We just got to get these guys focused and locked in on the task at hand. That's winning on Saturday.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you as always. Good luck to you guys on Saturday, and good luck to you as you move forward, whatever your career holds for you.
And I appreciate it. Thanks.
This question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in New Orleans are well. Can you talk a little bit about what the Bayou Classic means to you personally when you think about the history of it? Coach Rob, Coach Cassim, yourself, Doug, Mr. Shack, all of the gentlemen who have had an opportunity to be a part of this as a student athlete or a coach, but just talk a little bit about what it's like to be there in the Dome and in the process as you guys get ready to play.
You know, the biggest thing is when you talk about the people that paved the way for us, Marino Cass and Coach Richardson, all those guys have been involved in this Bayou Classic. It means a lot just being able to be on the sideline, coaching a team that desperate for a win right now, and just being able to be a part of this Bayou Classic. You know, I never seen it until last year inside the Dome, up until last year, and now get a chance to be the interim head coach in it this year. I'm overwhelmed, man. I'm excited. I told Coach Banks, last week I embraced the moment that he given me. So I'm happy to be here, coaching a good football program.
Thank you, Coach. Have a blessed holiday and a blessed Bayou Classic.
Thank you, sir.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, we know that Kelby Givens is going to play in at least one postseason All-Star game. Do you have any other seniors on this year's team that are deserving of postseason All-Star game appearances?
Right now, if they were, it'll be Horatio Johnson, but he's hampered with an injury right now, so I'm not sure he'll be able to play in it. But those are two only seniors I think that will be acknowledged to play in a postseason bowl game in terms of All-Stars and whatever it may be. But those would be the only two that I could think of right now that would have a good opportunity to play in a bowl game right now.
Thank you, sir. Good luck to you this Saturday.
Thank you, sir.
This question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Dr. Kenyatta Cavill's. Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach McNair.
Good morning.
Take me inside a little bit in terms of how you experienced this year's version of the Bayou Classic as you are leading from the head coaching position.
The experience has been great. I mean, I hear a lot of kids talk about it, and their tenure being here at Southern and how they embrace it all the time and coming into the Dome, playing inside the Dome in front of thousands of people and the great Southern fans. The Southern Nation shows up and how much they really appreciate it. So just hearing it from them firsthand makes me feel good about it. Just coming in and being able to lead this team out in this Dome on Saturday, I'm going to be very excited. I'm going to be probably more happy and excited than the kids will be, come Saturday.
Thank you, Coach. This year I get to take my son down there, so I look forward to the matchup and seeing you as well. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
No doubt.
This question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach, this is your first extensive period coaching since you left Alcorn State. What do you hope you show Southern University or any other school out there about your abilities and your deservingness to be considered for a head coaching job either there or somewhere else in America?
Just to continue to get these guys to fight hard and work hard on the football field. That's the biggest thing. When you have a season like this, it's always kind of tough on the coach to kind of get these guys up to where they want to practice real hard during the course of the week. So just to show everybody that I still have it in me to get these guys up to play a game and mainly focus on winning the ball game. And two, that's this pivotal point. So I think that the thing that we're going to come out and see Saturday is a team that's going to come on the field hungry for a win and ready to compete and showing good effort.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Coach McNair, we definitely appreciate you over the course of these weeks of this season on these calls, and we wish you the best in the offseason.
I appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. All right, so we'll have an adjustment with our schedule. We're going to move Coach T.C. Taylor with Jackson State up. We're working to get connected with Coach Dishman, Coach Buckley, and as well as Coach Joseph to end our call. So we're going to move Coach Taylor's availability up. With that being said, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature. Get your question in the queue. And as always, happy to be joined by Coach Taylor with Jackson State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Doing great, Coach. And as always, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us. If you could start us out with an opening statement, recap your team's most recent outing versus Alcorn State.
Yeah, Soul Bowl, great football game, great turnout of fans this past weekend. A lot at stake for our program in that football game. Hats off to Coach Thomas. He had those guys ready to play, though. Tell the two halves for my football team, just speaking on our team. I thought we came out, playing well in the first half. We were able to separate in that first half, running the ball, throwing the ball around. Some guys really were stepping up, making some plays, creating turnovers. In the second half, they just came out and kicked our butts. They came out in that first drive of the second half. They received the ball, and drove it straight down the field on our defense. And offensively, we was on to be able to generate a field goal in that second half. So we got to be better. We got a lot to work on. But very pleased with our program, getting another opportunity to compete for a SWAC championship here in the next couple of weeks against a really, really good Prairie View team, well-coached Prairie View team that, we'll have to be ready for. So we'll take this week, get a little work in, and then, get back in here next week and continue to work and get ready for a SWAC championship game.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach T.C. Taylor, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Wayne. How you doing?
Doing well. How's the heart rate today?
It's good. Took an extra blood pressure pill and shook it off, got a little rest, and I'm locked in, ready to go.
Sounds good. All right. So now the record is now 0-0. And with it now being 0-0 and it's a playoff one-game procedure, speaking in terms of this week, what does your practice schedule look like?
Just a normal week for us. We getting ready for the next opponent, which is Prairie View A&M. We had a good practice this morning. We'll get back at it tomorrow and continue throughout the week. But these guys, we as a program, we plan to be here. We played a lot of tough football games. We had a lot of great opponents on our schedule, and they brought it all year. But we were able to persevere and get ourselves to this point. We're looking forward to it. These guys understand what's at stake. It's win or go home. It's been like that for a couple of weeks for us now, and no different in this one. This is the one that you got to win to get to the national championship. So we're looking forward to it. Guys are excited about it, and they're moving around well.
Well, Coach, definitely we'll talk to you next week as we get ready for this game next week. But enjoy the time with your team and your family over Thanksgiving. Talk to you next week.
Thanks, Wayne. Take care.
This question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta Cavill. Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Let me know when I can sign up for your class, Coach, in terms of how to work highly under duress situations that are not necessarily in your control.
I'll let you know, Doc. Let me get through this season.
Wow. I hear you, Coach. On the serious part, let me say congratulations. I do not want to fall short of acting as if the things that you put in place has allowed you to get here, which is a lot of work. And so let's make sure that we celebrate the fact that you're able to do this with all your coaches and players that built you to this position.
Appreciate
This
it, Doc.
allows me to go into my actual question, which is you've been here before preparing for this. Will you take us a little bit in insight in terms of what it looks? You also earlier this year talked about preparing for postseason play, whether it was in this championship game or the FCS playoffs. Talk a little bit about what does it mean constructing the vision and the platform of how you operate your team. Are they allowed to go home for Thanksgiving, or is that something you bake into the schedule planning for that?
Yeah, we'll like I said, we'll practice the next 3 days. We had a great practice this morning, Doc. Shake a little bit of the soreness off. We'll get back at it tomorrow and Wednesday, and I'm gonna give them the next couple of days, to go see some family and everything. Some guys that hadn't had a chance to see family and things, and no different than we did last year. Let them allow them to go get a little turkey, a little dressing, and then we'll get back in here through the weekend and get back at it. That's why these next 3 are so valuable to the program. These next 3 practices are what I'm talking about. We really want to get something out of these 3 practices. Coaches came in on yesterday, did a great job of starting to, playing for Prairie View again. That's a championship program over there. Coach Jackson has done a hell of a job with that program. He said it, and he's doing everything that he said he was going to do. He's a winner, and they're going to be ready to play. But yeah, I get those guys off a couple of days, and Thanksgiving probably Friday, and we'll get back in here and get back at it. But no different than we did last year. They'll come back in here and we'll be ready to go come next week.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to talking about the matchup on the next call in terms of SWAC championship game week. Take care, and again, congratulations. Enjoy your brief break in terms of Thanksgiving, and thanks for allowing me to cover you. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Doc. Appreciate everything you do.
This question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Jackson are well. Congratulations on back-to-back East titles, and also just all the success you've had. The conversation of the HBCU, the black quarterback in the NFL. Recently, we had the opportunity to see Mr. Shedeur Sanders get a victory in Vegas, a site where Jackson State played recently. Talk about what you saw if you had an opportunity to see Shedeur play, and how that is for J-State Nation.
I think it's just huge in general for all HBCU football when he took the field and go out there and responded from the last performance he had out there. He went out there and played well, but with nothing that I wasn't used to. I mean, he played his butt off here. You talk about a 2-time SWAC champion, offensive player of the year and everything, and the work ethic and everything. He had an opportunity to know he would be the guy going into that week. So the preparation was a little different going into that game. And what I see with him out there, though, he got a bunch of guys on that roster that believes in him and his talents, and he went out there and displayed it. But it's nothing new to, the guys that's been around him. I've been around that locker room with him, called some plays for him. I know what type of quarterback he is. So I'm so happy for him, and I think sky's the limit. He's going to continue to work hard, going to continue to get better. You're talking about his first career start. So, it's huge, pays dividends for, our program, and I think just, HBCU football in a whole.
All right, Coach, we look forward to seeing you and covering you guys versus Prairie View. See you soon.
Thank you. Be safe.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Perry.
Coach, we're talking about quarterbacks. Can you give us an update on Jacobian?
Yeah, he's moving around pretty good. We evaluated him again today. He's moving around. He took some did some endo work out there today. So, we'll go through these next 2 and get back in here, like I said, on the weekend and continue to evaluate him. If he has some soreness, or if he don't, he'll be able to play, and we'll just continue to keep an eye on it. Try to keep him upright, and get to the game and see what he can give us.
And what are you seeing on film from this Prairie View A&M football team, Coach?
Total revamp, well-coached roster. They play the game well in all 3 phases, but they're a well-coached team. They're where they're supposed to be each and every play. You can see that with that program. I love the effort. They play hard. That football team plays hard. We know we got to come out and play 4 good quarters of football, but it's championship football. You talk about 2 coaches that, made the plan early on. back in the spring, and we were saying that we would be here at this moment, and that's what's going to happen next week. Two really good football teams, and I think it's going to be a great game here in the Vet in Jackson.
Congratulations, Coach, on your second Eastern Division title, and good luck to you in a couple weeks.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Question goes to Tia Reed.
Hey, Coach. Outside of the penalties, is there anything else that you feel is kind of the one last thing that you need your team to improve on going into this next couple weeks of practice, or do you kind of feel like you've done what you've done to get here and you've got it figured out?
Yeah, at this point of the season, if you in this position playing for a SWAC title, you done kind of crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's. You just got to make sure, you're harping on the little things, the turnovers in a football game. Again, you hit on the penalties, things like that that can affect the wins and losses in a championship game. Those are things we got to be good at. At this point, guys are in shape best they can be. You just got to keep them locked in. I mean, you can ask any coach that was on these calls. The hardest part around this season is just trying to get guys to finish. But our guys are pretty much locked in because we set the goal to be here. So, we wanted this moment. We wanted to, get an opportunity to be back-to-back SWAC champs. And, we looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Last question goes to Marvin Nichols.
Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning, Marvin. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Congratulations. It was a very, very good game, and your emotions were all over the place. But I'm telling you, it was a pleasure to watch you and Coach Thomas coach such a great game. Wanted to ask you, Prairie View stands between you and the Celebration Bowl, but every great quest has a worthy challenger. How do you frame this moment for your team, not as pressure, but as an opportunity to define who they are and what they stand for?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time to our players. You talk about greatness in the JSU brand. The past teams have been so great that came through here. And this is a moment and an opportunity where our team will always be remembered. Not only back-to-back SWAC champs, but going to get an opportunity to, to compete in a Celebration Bowl and potentially back-to-back national champs. And that's what we talk about with these guys, of having the opportunity of going down in the record books as one of the great teams that ever come through here. But it's not going to be easy. These last 3-4 weeks hadn't been easy. We're getting everybody's playing great football right now at this point. And again, hats off to the program that'll be coming in here, Prairie View A&M on next week. So it's not going to be an easy feat. So we got to work our butts off and, continue to write our story, continue to build on our resume. And, that's the deal when they're coming into town next week. We wanted this game, too, also to be we wanted to host again. That was a big goal of ours, to host the game in the Vet again and have that opportunity to play in front of our fans for another championship. So you talk about just etching your name in history as one of the greats that ever do it.
Well, Coach, you definitely are. You all are writing a great story, and I look forward to that game. Good luck to you.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coach, we sincerely appreciate your time again, as always, on this calls, and we look forward to speaking with you next week for the SWAC Football Championship Head Coaches Media Session.
Thank you, guys. Happy Thanksgiving and safe travels.
Yes,
Everybody.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Okay.
All right, we're working to connect with Coach Joseph with Grambling State. We'll be back momentarily. Thank you for your patience.
Look at something else.
Once again, if you do have questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Joseph with Grambling State. Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon. How you guys doing?
Doing great, Coach. We appreciate you taking time to join us. We know you're at the Bayou Classic press conference. Coach, if you could just start us out, just recapping, actually just previewing this upcoming matchup.
Well, it's gonna be a big time game. You got to throw the records out the door. You know, Southern's a very good football team. I know the records don't indicate that, but the records goes out the door when you play this game. And the kids understand the magnitude of this game. And so we're looking to come down here and put on a good show. Put on a good show. So we're prepared. I think we're healthy now. You know, for the most part. You know, so I think we can come down here and put on a good show.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Joseph, how are you, sir?
Wayne, how you doing?
Doing great, man. So, opportunity to finish 8-4, opportunity to beat your rival. All these things. Set it up for us. How would this really be so well to set you guys up for what you hope to be a successful offseason?
Well, I want to make sure that I take my hat off to my coaches and my players and my administration, because we all been on the same page this year. We lost some close ones, but to finish the 8-4 season and have the first winning season since 2019, playing in a game of this magnitude, it's big. So what we got to do, we got to focus and we got to finish, and that's what we've been talking to the kids about. You got to really focus when it comes to this game, because I break it down in two parts: is the event and is the game. See, we can't get here and get involved with the event. So we had to do some things for us, living situations that we won't get involved with the event, that we can focus more on the game. But it's big, you know, we're big. I think we headed in the right direction.
Well, Coach, good luck to you guys on Saturday, and it's been great to talk to you all season.
Thank you.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody in New Orleans are well. Can you talk a little bit about the Bayou Classic and why it's different, why it feels different, the dome, the history, Coach Rob, all the gentlemen who have been fortunate to be a part of it, Coach Richardson, why is it so different?
Well, I think it's because it's families. It's families divided for 3 hours, and then once it's over, we come back and we become family again. And it's the darnest thing that it's not really a hate rivalry. It's a rivalry where this is my team, this is what school I went to. This is my team, this is what school I went to. But at the end of the game, I watched my kids and my coaches hug the Southern players, and that was unbelievable. That was a beautiful sight. You know, be able to see that. So it's like we both share traditions. We both have a legacy, but we both in the state of Louisiana. So we, you know, other than anybody else, we got to pull for each other when you're not playing against each other. So we're excited to have the opportunity for this game, the magnitude of this game. But we're gonna come down and put on a good show for them.
All right, Coach. Have a blessed holiday and a blessed Bayou Classic.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Dr. Cavill's inside the HBC Sports Lab. Coach Joseph, how are you doing?
Doc, how you doing today?
Doing well. Look forward to get to bring my son to the event. He's not been to the Bayou Classic, 11-year-old. So get a chance to do that and live a little life there. So
yes, it'll be a beautiful surrounding that he'll get to see a lot.
I agree with you. Back to the business that we're talking about. Wanted to ask you on building on what has been a successful season in a lot of ways, and culminating with the ultimate success that you want to have in winning this game. You kind of alluded to this when my colleague Wayne Cartwright asked you a question. Can you talk specifically of what you can share with us in terms of what you've learned with your past experience, in terms of what are you going to do in this matchup to help you have the success on the field based on what takes place off the field?
Well, I had to do a better job with the players, and it's the outside things, you know, like delivering situations, you know, what time we're gonna eat on Thursday, what are we having, you know, do a better job the things outside so we don't distract them. You know, this team's a little different. When you come to Thanksgiving, they don't want Thanksgiving meal. They want fried catfish and fried shrimp, and so I had to fix that. And say, okay, this is why we have Thanksgiving dinner. So we have half Thanksgiving dinner, half Louisiana style food. Okay, so then we had to do the living situation. You know, I don't think it was healthy for us to live in the middle of the Bayou Classic, and that's where we stayed at last year, like right in the middle downtown, when it was a distraction because so many people in there. because
Right.
they don't get that with normal road games. So I try to make it like a normal road game where we're in a hotel, nobody's in a hotel with us, and if they do come over, that they're invited, and we're gonna have our regular chapel that we normally do. So we take them away from the event so they can focus more on the game.
Appreciate that insight. Well, great
Appreciate you.
decision. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Perry, how you doing?
Super fantastic, Coach. Growing up in Marrero, do you take them to any places around the city that you would used to frequent?
Well, no, the coaches usually, because I have a lot of coaches that's from New Orleans, so they usually get out with their families on Thursday night to go eat dinner with their families. But then when we come Friday, everybody's usually locked in. Once we get to the Saints facility that Friday morning for practice, everybody's usually locked in, ready to go to the game. So like I said, we're gonna stay a little on the outskirts. Being from down here, you kind of know the outskirts. You know where everybody's going to be at. So we're going to stay on the outskirts and make sure that we can keep these guys focused. But these coaches will venture out and also get to some high school games on Friday night because, they still got to work. They still got to work.
Well, Coach, let me ask you about two seniors on your defensive line that'll be playing for you for the last time, Bryce Cage and Warren Robinson. If you could talk about those two.
Two special kids, two special young men. Let me not call them kids because they're both 22 and 23 years old. Two special young men. They'll give you everything. Bryce is not a vocal leader, but he's a leader by example. And when he do speak, then he speaks volumes. But Warren don't say anything. Warren was a kid that was in Louisiana. Then I think right after Katrina, he left and moved to Texas. So he's got New Orleans roots. And so I was happy to be able to coach those two kids. They play hard. They played more snaps than they ever had to play last week. So I'm looking forward for them to come back this week and have a hell of a football game.
Thank you, Coach. Have a great weekend.
Okay, thank you. And y'all have a good weekend also.
Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you so much.
Thank you a lot. And good luck to you guys this weekend and happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next we're going to go over to Texas Southern and Coach Chris Dishman. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. We already have several questions there, so please limit your questions to one initial question. If we've got additional time, we'll work our way back to get additional questions answered. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Dishman. Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon. How you guys doing today?
Doing great, Coach, and appreciate you taking time to join us. If you could just start us out with an opening statement recapping this past week.
Well, it's a great game we played there at Shell Energy Stadium. Our guys was very up for the game. We broke a 20-year curse of not having a winning season here at Texas Southern, but 6-5 it's nothing to hang your head on, but it's a great start.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Dr. Cavill.
This is Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. I know you have bigger plans and bigger ambitions, but oftentimes as you talk about, you have to build those bricks. And one of those bricks is alluding to the fact that you broke 20 years of the opposite direction with the winning record, going 6-5. And part of that were some young folks getting it done, particularly Jordan Davis at the quarterback position, 11-20, 158-yard, 1 touchdown. And Lawrence Butler, along with some other guys, being able to rush the ball for a total of 228 yards. Butler did 101 on 20 carries and 1 touchdown. I know it's not about one or two individuals. The defense played solid on allowing the Bulldogs to get 7 points. Can you talk about how you brought the team together throughout this season with a lot of ups, some downs, to be able to get to that first jump off point to get to the winning season? And what does this mean for you carrying the program forward to your ultimate goal of winning a championship?
Well, we still have a lot of work to do. And I think our coaches here is willing to put in the work to do it. To keep the team together, we're sitting here 0-3, and everybody wrote us off. And no one called, no one talked. But I told our guys, just keep grinding. And don't worry about the naysayers who's jumping off the boat. Don't even worry about the ones who's still on the boat. Worry about what you can do to make this team better. And once they realize that We wasn't going to get a lot of people to our games. We wasn't going to get a lot of people beating down our doors for NIL. We just going to stay grinding and keep grinding, and what happens happens. And those guys took that and went to fight for this team.
Great point to close out the season at 6-2 after that start. Thank you for allowing me to cover you. Great work you're doing and continue to build. Coach Dishman, look forward to talking with you in the offseason.
Thank you.
Question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Hey, Coach Dishman, congrats on the win and congrats on the winning record for this season for your program. My question for you today is just pretty simple in its nature. So, Coach, with everything in your plans that you have for trying to build this program and trying to boost attendance and just buzz for your program and involvement and engagement, what are the steps that you and your staff, what do you think you guys are going to be able to do during the off season to try to take another step towards those goals?
We got to keep Houston in Houston, keep our surrounding student athletes at the high school level, keep them right here and play for Texas Southern University. They don't have to go and play for nobody else in Texas. They can come and play here for Texas Southern University and play some good football. So that's our main goal, is keeping Houston in Houston.
All right, Coach. Good to talk to you all season. We'll definitely talk coming up here during the off season.
Sounds great.
This question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Houston are well. Congratulations on the winning season. Can you talk about the offseason when you look at the transfer portal, NIL, high school players, recruiting, graduation, all the different moving parts? And then you also alluded to the need for a stadium on campus. But just talk about the offseason and keep continuing to keep this thing together.
Well, we already have street agents. I call them street agents. They're not real agents. We already have these fake agents out here poaching our kids already. And it's a shame that we are allowing that, as not as a university, but as NCAA, allowing these street agents, these poachers, to poach our kids already. And it's crazy. You can't have an 18, 19-year-old kid talking about he has an agent. What do you mean you have an agent? You're only 18 years old. You haven't even lived life to have an agent. And these street agents is charging these kids 18 to 20% of what? What are they charging them 20% of? They're not doing anything but sitting at home making calls, and the guy's using all their talent, and the kid's not getting what they're supposed to be getting because they have to pay these half street agents 18 to 20%. And that's the frustrating thing about coaching these days, is everybody want to be an agent, but nobody want to work or go get a degree to be an agent. So that's the frustrating part, and we have to educate our young men that don't listen to these bums out here who's trying to be street agents. Don't listen to them. You got to be able to talk to your family. And if your family and you agree that you need to go in a portal, then I'm okay with that. But talk with your family. Talk with someone, your high school coach. Talk with someone who can give you better advice than what these poachers give you.
All right, Coach. I appreciate you. Have a good day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Mr. Daniels.
Coach, can you make the case for some of this year's team to be in all-star games and be possibly recruited to play at the next level? Who on your current roster?
Oh, wow. We got first start off with our offense. We got Trent and Charlo. We got Renfro. We got a lot of guys that can. Davion Ford, who was our third down specialist. We have a lot of guys on this team who can go and play in a Legacy Bowl, and not just a Legacy Bowl, any other bowl. You got the East-West, the Shrine Bowl.
Yes.
It's time to get our HBCU student athletes into these bigger bowls. And everybody went over the Legacy Bowl. The Legacy Bowl is a great bowl. I'm not trying to down the Legacy Bowl.
Right.
But let's get them into East-West Shrine Bowl. Let's get them into the East-West game. Let's get them into the Senior Bowl. Why can't our kids go into the Senior Bowl? They just have just enough talent as any other guys you invited to the Senior Bowl. Why not invite our kids to the Senior Bowl?
That's awesome, Coach. And that's why I asked that question, so you can make that case.
Yeah, I don't mean to call them kids. I don't mean the young adults. Why can't our young student athletes go to the Senior Bowl? They need to be in the Senior Bowl because that's where most of your scouts go. They go right there to the Senior Bowl.
That's awesome, Coach. Great season, Coach. It's been great covering you.
Thank you.
Coach Dishman, we appreciate your time throughout the duration of this season. We hope you have a great offseason.
All right, you too. Have a great one.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Next, we go over to conclude our call to Mississippi Valley State and Coach Buckley. Once again, if you do have questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Buckley. Good afternoon, Coach.
Coach, how you doing?
Doing great, Coach, and we appreciate you joining us. If you could, Coach, just start us out with an opening statement recapping this past week.
Oh, man, this past weekend was rough all around. The trip, the 9-hour bus ride, from pregame to the end, we was out of sync and really couldn't get anything going. And if you can't get anything going against a team that's running it down your throat, then that's the results you get. So not a good day.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Wayne Cartwright.
Coach Buckley, how are you, sir?
I'm okay.
Well, it's good to hear. Well, I know you guys have your finale coming up here on Saturday.
Yes.
And it's another opportunity for you guys to, play this game that we love, and an opportunity for you to finish with your guys that you started with. So, Coach, with this game Saturday, what would this look like, regardless win or lose? What are the things that you guys need to do, yourself, your staff, as a program, to get the ship headed in a winning direction ahead of next year?
Well, we've already started that meeting with the guys today about the improvements we've made, which I told them I was proud of them. But there's a lot of things we have to improve on to continue this growth. The biggest thing that has happened is the mindset. The culture has changed, which we tried to change it for a period of time, but it has finally changed. Some guys get caught up in the wash. Some guys don't. And I think that's been the positive that I'm really proud of the guys here. And this week is straight pride week. This is a pride game. And like I told them, if you playing for pride, no money, no accolades and all that, you play hard. And the young men have played hard this entire season. We haven't made enough plays.
Well, I appreciate you as always. Every chance I get to talk to you. I remember when I talked to you at SWAC Media Day, man, this has been, you know that better days are ahead for Coach Buckley and Mississippi Valley State. Good luck on Saturday, and look forward to talking to you in the off season and beyond, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
This question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in the Delta are well. Just talk a little bit about finishing strong, the opportunity to play a football game in the Delta, and what you see so far from FAM as you think about scouting that team.
Well, anytime you get a chance to go out and compete, that's a great day. And we signed up to play, 12 games, and we're going to give it 100%. I told them we expect nothing less. And we're still chasing, we already got our new theme for 2026. So that is chasing history. So it starts this week. Pride game, chasing history, and what FAM is going to do, what they do. They're going to run the ball. They're going to try to play good defense. And we're going to go out and try to obviously run the ball, play good defense, but more importantly, have some fun and make more plays than we give up.
Thank you, Coach, for your contribution to Valley, and appreciate everything you're doing for the SWAC and football in the Mississippi Delta. Thank you, sir.
And thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Hey, good afternoon.
Well, Coach, I'm going to ask you about this kid again, Jamari Stokes, the true freshman. This is the time of the year where people are considering all SWAC honors, and this young man has 17 breakups, leading the conference in breakups with an interception, with 2 fumble recoveries, for a total of 106 yards, and he added 6 more tackles this past game. Can you talk about him and make a case for him as a true freshman being all conference?
Absolutely. At this stage, before, I was still grinding him, I had to see more. And what he showed this week, when things, before they even got out of hand, he was a better tackler, and more importantly, he's more physical. So I would say if you find a better safety in this conference, regardless freshman or not, I'd like to see him. I would say this young man has come in here and has done a tremendous job, and he deserves to be on the all SWAC team based on what them numbers you just pointed out, which he would tell you, man, Coach Buck don't see none of that, because I'm all about improvement every week. And he showed last week, I was like, okay, I'll give him some props. And so I'm giving him his props right now.
That's awesome, Coach. And we are agreed. He's no Terrell Buckley, but you got to say he's pretty good.
He's come. I'm gonna tell you that he's come. I'm a fundamental coach, right? And you see stuff. You see the big plays, but like I told him, I want that to be regular, like a regular game for you. Take the proper angle, have the eyes, make the plays when they give you the opportunity. Not being luck on some of the stuff,
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you, Coach, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
This question goes to Dr. Kenyatta Cavill.
This is Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good afternoon, Coach Buckley.
Good afternoon.
I want to talk about moving forward in concluding with this matchup, and you kind of talked about what you want to see get done in this matchup. So once you wrap that up, what is your focus in terms of how you go about your offseason based on what you saw and planning with your administrative team of getting you what you want to get done for Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils?
Well, the number one thing, signing day is coming up. We've been over here. We starting at 6 a.m. last week or two, trying to get this organized. We need to have a big day signing, right? We need to get big up front on both sides. You control the line of scrimmage in this league or any league, you have a shot. And we need more playmakers as far as personnel. And then the other stuff is top down. We have to make changes. We have to travel better. There's a lot of things that we have to do for the football program. When I say chasing history means you're changing some stuff, right? We never won the East, haven't been in the Celebration Bowl. Those are goals. So you need not only better players, better travel, just a total top to bottom. The program has to change in the right direction.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to seeing that. Good luck this offseason. Hope I get a chance to talk with you as well during that process.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Time for a few more questions. Next one goes to James Verrett.
Coach, when you look at your team offensively, outside of the game against Jackson State, you've been able to score points offensively at home. How important is it for your team to play the way that they played against Bethune-Cookman at home this week, and what ingredients do you need to add in order to get back to that point?
Oh man, you lose your probably your MVP and your quarterback, which everybody knows if you have a quarterback, you have a chance. So we have to get more creative on offense. We have to move the chains. On them that 3 yards in a cloud of dust, as long as you're moving the chains. And probably more important, what I've noticed what we did not do that we have to do is when given the opportunity to make big plays, 3rd and long, you make that catch. 3rd and short, defensively, they throw a bad ball, make that sack. We can do that, then we're going to have a chance. We'll have a chance.
Coach, you said that this week is a week for pride. When you look at your roster, You have guys from literally all over the world. How have you been able to create family in this first year? And what does this group of young men mean to you and your program?
It means a lot. Like I told them that this last time these guys will be together in this locker room. The last time all these guys, some guys are obviously seniors, some guys in the transfer portal, some guys gonna do some other things in their lives. So let's go out and enjoy this and have a great time. And adding to that, I think that the connection, no matter whether old guys, young guys, medium guys, is communication. Honest communication. Like after we practice today, I'm calling the seniors in, and we just gonna sit down and have one by one a conversation, no matter how long it talks. I mean, how long it takes. And I've been doing that throughout the year to develop those connections. But again, that ain't something I talk about. No, that's just who I am.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
Last question goes to Brandon King.
Good morning, Coach Buckley. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Right. Brandon King with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab and SneakerShopTalk.com. As the season has progressed, you've talked about things like getting the right people on the bus, changing the culture, so on and so forth. And you can kind of see those things happening with your program. But my question was about you, Coach Buckley. What is something as a leader of a program and a leader of young men and these student athletes, what is something from the first day that you arrived to today that you learned about yourself as a leader?
Man, do you have enough time?
Much as Andrew will give us.
No, I've learned so much. Obviously, I've always felt like I don't know everything. I think one thing I've learned, I listen a little bit more. Because I've had to change a lot of things. You come from somewhere that, I mean, this has never happened to me, kind of this whole situation. Even when I was at Akron, who hadn't had a winning season in a while, from the top down, from the administration to how we travel, I keep talking about, to uniforms, to all those things was a little bit different. So the growth for me personally, I am thankful and blessed to be at Valley, because without this and the connections I've made in the administration with our new AD and having somebody that guy in charge, the president, Dr. Briggs, that's showing his support and wants to make this change happen, that's a unique situation. And I sit here I smile all the time, because when you are growing, not only as a coach, but as a person, man, that's exciting. That is very exciting to me. And I'm so thankful and indebted to Mississippi Valley State, because without them, I would not be the person I am right now, the coach I am right now. That's a blessing.
Well, thank you, Coach, for that insight and appreciate you. Like I said, everyone said taking the time out and continue to lay that foundation to get Valley football back on track.
Well, thank you guys. Thank all you guys for those wonderful questions. And this year, it's been wonderful. I've learned a lot from you guys.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Have a great offseason.
Thank you.
Thank you. This concludes our SWAC football head coaches media session, our final regular season media session for the 2025 SWAC football season. We will have the SWAC football head coaches championship media session next week. We'll send out additional information regarding the login details for that session. Thank you so much.